From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Friday, August 14th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
I'm Rafael Sanchez. I'm wearing a body-worn camera now used by Metro police officers. What this means for them and for the public.
Already we have a lot of homeless out here, and you've got families with illness, families with kids. Where are they going to go? The jobs are closed down. What are we going to do? We are crying for help.
Indiana's moratorium on evictions ends today. This morning, how the Indianapolis Housing Agency is working to help Hoosiers stay in their homes and off the streets.
I imagine this first 9 weeks is going to be a lot of that, like us trying out things.
IPS will welcome students back to classroom virtually on Monday. Working for you, how the district is preparing for an unprecedented school year.
And here at 6 o'clock, we want to thank you for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey, and my friends Todd Clausen and Rafael Sanchez joining me on this Friday. And guys, we have a brand new look here at WRTV.
That's right, a new look with familiar faces, and Todd Clausen, a forecast with a familiar feel. That humidity is really not a good thing on this Friday. Can we just get it out of here?
We will eventually. We have to get through the weekend first, Rafael, and then we have a great stretch of weather to look forward to next week. But first things first, it is very muggy out there, as Rafael mentioned. A nice live look there at IMS, where we push towards qualifications here this weekend. Indy's at 71 degrees. Kokomo, skies are a little clearer for you, so you're a little bit cooler at 64. Bloomington at 72 degrees right now, and you're dry currently in Bloomington, but there is some rain down across southern portions of Indiana. This is weakening as it's coming out of Kentucky, and you can notice how it's kind of backing in. That's an area of low pressure, so that's why the rain's moving from east to west, and that should continue as it makes its way off towards the Cincinnati area. But I do think it gets close enough here to clip our southern counties with a little bit of rainfall later on this morning. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s right now as we go throughout the course of the day today. Very seasonable, very summer-like with that humidity as highs top off in the mid-80s. We'll talk more about that rainfall for you, not only today, but throughout the weekend. Lauren, coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Let's take a look at traffic right now for your Friday. This is a live picture from our INDOT traffic camera at I-70 near State Road 267 to our west. Just keep in mind that we have ongoing construction on the ramp, so northbound and southbound State Road 267, the ramps to eastbound I-70 closed long-term for construction. You can see on the interstate to our left, everything is traveling up to speed, both eastbound and westbound. No crashes or delays right now to slow down your Friday commute. At 6:03 and new from overnight, Indianapolis police are investigating a double homicide on the city's west side. Police at the scene tell WRTV that a young man and woman were found shot on the 3600 block of West Michigan Street. This happened around 1:15 this morning. Both victims were pronounced dead at the scene. Detectives are interviewing neighbors to find out what led up to that shooting.
People are demanding more transparency from local police, and new this morning we have an inside look at those body cameras that Metro Police are now using on the job on the city's east side. To begin with, I had a chance to suit up with the camera and talk about the technology with homeowners around the Little Flower Catholic Church on the east side. The camera is really like an iPhone placed in the chest area of the officer's uniform. The technology can record from 12 to 15 hours of video and audio. All uniformed officers will have this technology by Thanksgiving. Tom Ford lives on the east side of Indianapolis. We talked to him while wearing an IMPD body-worn camera, and he gave us permission to record him.
Any event can elevate into something more severe of an event, as we see in the news all the time, so I think it's good that it captures that. Down
the street, Ms. Berry also gave us permission to record our discussion using the police technology.
I think it's very adequate.
The body-worn cameras are being deployed months after several IMPD police-involved shootings and the death of George Floyd in Minnesota. The mayor of Indianapolis led the charge after years of talk to make sure the cameras would become a reality. On East District, Commander Rick Riddle's officers are the first to get the technology.
Now we have an immediate record of that interaction that we now can review, we can learn from, and we can use to train our recruits on the proper way to do things.
Lieutenant Scott Kulig is leading the training and is overseeing this entire project.
The reason we chose this system is because of those automatic triggers. So if an officer is in a very stressful situation, maybe they have to draw their gun and use it for some reason, turning the camera on might not be their first priority or the first thing that crosses their mind. But because of this system and it has these automatic triggers, it does that so the officers don't even have to think about it. The camera starts for them automatically.
In an age where people want proof, the cameras will be recording, providing pictures that in the past were not available.
There's something to be said for seeing things with your own eyes versus what someone has told you.
So that camera, Lauren, is attached to something that looks much like your cell phone. The video and the audio from the camera will always be a challenge. The closer the officer is to you, the better the sound. The farther away the officer is from you, the more the video will capture. Now, this technology is being used by Metro Police. It's also in the hands of other law enforcement across our state, including the Boone County Sheriff's Office, Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, Lawrence PD, West Lafayette PD, as well as police officers in the city of South Bend.
Raphael, thank you. Now we want to go to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic in our state. There's an increase in new COVID-19 cases and new deaths. And there's also a bump in new testing. So let's take a look at the newest data from the State Department of Health right now. There are 1,046 new cases of COVID-19 reported. That's nearly 400 more new cases than the state reported on Wednesday. There's also 20 new deaths. The state is reporting more people were tested. That was 11,272 new tests. That's up more than 500 from the previous day. 2,898 Hoosiers have died from the coronavirus since the start of this pandemic. More than 877,000 people in Indiana have been tested for COVID-19 so far. 8.8% of those tests have come back positive for the virus. State data shows 33% of ICU beds here in Indiana are still available. That's slightly lower than previously reported. COVID patients are using about 12.8% of those beds. Non-COVID patients are using 54% of the beds. 80% of Indiana's ventilators are also still available.
This morning, Lauren, we take you to Hancock County with this developing story. Greenfield Central High School students will now move to a hybrid schedule that starts on Monday, and that's for the rest of the quarter after multiple reports of COVID-19 cases reported in that school district. The students will attend school for 2 days, followed by 2 days online until the end of the first quarter. That's in early October. Right now, the move only applies to high school students. There are 5 total cases of COVID-19 in the district, and there are at least 2 confirmed cases at the high school, 2 at the junior high school, and 1 at Eden Elementary School. And this morning, we continue to cover education here on Good Morning Indiana. The biggest public school system in Indianapolis begins classes on Monday.
And Raphael, that will all be done online. It's the first time ever that the district will be able to do this now that all kids will have iPads or Chromebooks. And so our Alyssa Donovan is joining us live this morning as IPS looks ahead to Monday. Hey, Alyssa.
Good morning. And IPS leaders want parents to know that they are prepared for the school year despite all the changes that have come in the past couple weeks. And they're ready to help parents and families as they navigate these changes in education for their children. IPS held a virtual meeting for parents to discuss remote learning last night and what it will look like. They explained what the expectations will be for children and how parents can get assistance if they need it. Teachers and other staff members have already been reaching out to families to help prep them for this school year. We spoke with one mom whose son has Down syndrome. While she says the end of last school year was a challenge with remote learning, she feels the district and her family are now more prepared.
I just hope for the best, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be interesting and informing. Before the first time, I didn't know what to expect. Now this time, I kind of,
Students with IEPs or individualized learning plans like her son will get more time with their teacher, something she's very happy about. And that remote learning for students starts on Monday, and as of now, it's expected to go until October 2nd. If you do need additional resources to help you work through the remote learning with your children at home, IPS has a lot of resources on their website. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, WRTV.
Alyssa, thank you. And for more stories and information about how our local school districts are handling the new school year and the very latest on COVID cases in schools, you can go to WRTV.com/safely back to school.
Indiana's moratorium on eviction, it ends today, and many organizations and agencies are now taking steps to help Hoosier families on this critical moment in our state. In response to all of that, the Indianapolis Housing Agency Board of Commissioners voted on Thursday to implement a repayment policy for its residents. Around 2,000 families live in the agency's 13 properties. IHA says 900 households are behind on rent. Residents and agency leaders say working to avoid evictions is the right thing to do during these tough times.
Already we have a lot of homeless out here, and you've got families with illness, families with kids. Where are they going to go? The jobs are closed down. What are we going to do? We are crying for help.
They'll give you a break a little bit for it. That's one thing I like about it. They try to talk to you. They try to work with you. That's what I like.
We don't want to file these mass evictions when we're able to. We would like to, again, provide stable housing for our residents so that they can focus on employment and not having to worry about a place to call home.
So let's connect you to some help this morning. There are many other programs and organizations assisting renters and homeowners throughout our city, throughout our state, who are struggling to make payments. You can find a list of all of those resources on our website, WRTV.com. And if you live outside of Marion County, you can get help too. If you're struggling to pay rent, go to the website indianahousingnow.org. There you'll find the rental assistance portal, and there are also many instructions if you live in Marion County and you are not dealing with the Indianapolis Housing Authority.
And as we continue to rebound from this pandemic, our Hiring Hoosiers initiative is showcasing companies looking to hire some of the tens of thousands of Hoosiers who are out of work right now. So coming up, our Mark Mullins took an inside look at how Xfinity is expanding right here in Indiana. Todd.
And Lauren, we're tracking some rain across southern portions of central Indiana, starting to lift to the north, impacting places like Bedford and eventually Seymour here over the course of the next hour or so. This is the only rain we have across central Indiana as of right now. We'll talk about how long it's going to linger and look ahead to your weekend coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back. At WRTV, we're guiding you towards the resources that are out there to help you land a job and make ends meet during this pandemic, and we call it the Rebound Indiana.
It is our commitment every day, and WRTV's Mark Mullins takes a look at one company using this time of uncertainty to invest in the future and hire new workers.
Here at this strip mall in Traders Point on Indianapolis's northwest side, contractors are working on Comcast's latest $1 million investment, an Xfinity store and customer service center, one of 3 expansions this year in central Indiana.
What we don't want to do is withdraw. It's a bad time to do that, to have that scared business model. So we are looking to expand right now.
When this spot opens in mid-September, it will need roughly a dozen workers to help customers with cable and internet products, billing questions, and other services.
The people that we want for these positions are people who are friendly. Really people that have that good hands-on customer experience and then can quickly understand the technology.
While many businesses have had to downsize and lay off workers during the pandemic, Comcast managers adjusted to keep employees as the company as a whole navigates uncertain times.
It's been very different as far as the climate goes. That is challenging, but we haven't done mass layoffs. We haven't done any kind of large-scale restructurings or anything like that. In fact, we found that by investing in the business model, we're still making the same network investments. Our guys that are out there laying fiber every day are still doing that and doing that at the same pace that they were before.
Working for you on Indy's north side, Mark Mullins, RTV6.
Mark, thank you. Comcast is still looking to fill positions at a similar expansion project which opened less than 2 weeks ago in Richmond out in Wayne County. And before the end of the year, the company is building another store in Anderson, and that will need to be staffed as well. If you'd like to learn more information about those positions, the pay scale, how to apply, we've included all of that information in this story. Just go to WRTV.com/rebound. You can also find this story at hiringhoosiers.com. The time now is 6:18. Let's toss things over to Todd for a look at our Friday forecast. Hey, Todd.
Yeah, Lauren, good morning to you. Happy Friday. Good morning, everybody. We made it to the end of the week, and it's going to be a pretty warm and muggy day for us here as we push our way through this Friday. Let's break down the headlines for you for this day. This morning, some rain moving into southern locations. I'll show you radar in just a second. This afternoon, warm and muggy conditions for us, and then some more isolated storms are possible later on this evening. The view from downtown to the north shows a few breaks in the clouds, but overall, mostly cloudy skies for our day right now. 64 with the thinner clouds up in Kokomo, 72 in Bloomington and Indianapolis right now at 71 degrees. So on WRTV radar, you see that we have some rain here now pushing into Bedford, Mitchell, over towards Medora. Seymour starting to see some light rain, a few lightning strikes here as you work your way just north of Shoals and US 50 as you come into portions of Lawrence County and down to the south, even some heavier rain where there's been flash flood warnings across parts of northern Kentucky. And now this group of rain, or the cluster of storms, is slowly making its way to the north. But if you watch the last few frames here on radar, you notice how it's starting to back off from east to west. The rotation there, the counterclockwise flow. This is an area of low pressure that's kind of defied the odds and just hung together. So eventually it should start to slide off towards the east, but it is still tracking a little further to the north. So we're going to have to keep some rain in the forecast for those of you in Bloomington, Nashville, Columbus, I think, and then obviously where it's raining already in Seymour as well as into the Bedford area. But notice TrueCast pushes some of this rain off towards the east as we get into the mid-morning and then into the afternoon hours here at 3 o'clock. It's mainly an issue off towards the east. So the further south you are and the further east you are, the better your rain potential will be here throughout the course of the day today, with temperatures that'll climb through the 70s into the 80-degree range by time we get to the noon hour. And then high temperatures today will top off very seasonably in the mid-80s with the humidity around, so it's going to be a little uncomfortable. This evening, it's Friday night. If you have plans, rain should move out of the area as the evening progresses and the sun starts to set. Still pretty warm and muggy, though, with temperatures that will be in the 80s falling into the 70s. Tomorrow, 87 degrees for your Saturday. Some isolated storms for your Saturday forecast, and then on Sunday, 85 degrees will be your high temperature. But the storms tomorrow will be very, very isolated. Do not cancel any plans. You see them moving in here as we work our way throughout the afternoon hours. So it's warm and muggy through Sunday, and then as we get into next week, beautiful weather, though, takes shape as the cold front passes Sunday night, Lauren. Lower humidity, lots of sunshine, and comfortable temperatures Monday through Thursday.
All right, looking forward to that, Todd. Thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic for your Friday morning. Here's a live look at I-74 to our west. This is out of view near Dandy Trail. You can see everything is traveling smoothly, both eastbound and westbound. No issues here for your commute. So it's never too early for tricks and treats, right? And today is trending 6, while you may be seeing Halloween candy out early this year.
And let the countdown begin. Coming up on Good Morning America, yes, indeed, a summer concert from the queen of country pop, the one and only Shania Twain, another friend of Good Morning Indiana. So get your happy on and stay tuned. And good morning to Pendleton, Plainfield, and Providence, other places to call home, great places to live. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV, which stands for We Are TV, and we're happy that you're starting your Friday with us here on RTV6.
Welcome back. The time right now is 6:24. Raphael, it is time to talk about what is trending at 6.
So I really need a machine that can find my house keys. But while we make that machine, right, check this out. Researchers in Korea have invented a case that helps a smartphone crawl to a charger when the battery is low. Are you seeing this thing?
Yeah.
It's called the case crawler, and right now the invention can only scamper forward in the direction of a charging pad. But in the future, developers hope the miniature robot will be able to return to the owner when fully charged. That is simply cool.
That is a little creepy,
but cool.
Yeah, very creative. So you may have noticed some Halloween candy already available in some stores. That's because candy makers fear the pandemic may negatively affect sales during what's typically their biggest season. But not all stores are on board. Target, Walmart, and Walgreens say they're holding off on Halloween candy until early fall. And Raphael, I think Todd could tell you that this is true about me. I am okay with starting Christmas really whenever. So Halloween candy, that's fine. No big deal for me. I'm ready to move on to Christmas. Yeah.
Well, I think aren't you done shopping for Christmas?
Yeah.
I think you are. Hey, a big good morning today to the masked Avengers. They are our hometown heroes on this Friday. Volunteers with Chapel Hill United Methodist Church made 900 masks for students and staff at Westlake Elementary School on the west side of Indianapolis. The masked Avengers, as they call themselves, have made over 2,400 face coverings. We thank them. We thank all of our heroes. And now time to check your forecast with our one and only Todd Clausen. Good morning, TK.
Raphael, good morning to you. It's warm and muggy this morning with temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Skies a little clearer to the north. That's why you're in the 60s. And to the south, you notice just creeping into the frame are some showers and thunderstorms towards Bedford as well as the Seymour area. So throughout the day today, it is warm. It is going to be muggy with partly sunny skies, a high temperature up to 85 degrees. As far as the storms, the further south and the further east you are, you'll have the better potential of seeing these storms off and on throughout the course of the day today as this cluster of storms kind of sneaks through southern Indiana and then eventually off into Ohio. The warm, muggy weather continues into the weekend as well. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. So as the pandemic drags on, you may start to notice the rewards are not what they used to be. Consumer reporter John Mattery shows us what your credit card may be cutting so you don't waste your money.
You know those little notices your credit card sends you every now and then? Well, you may want to check them carefully because during this pandemic, some of them are removing some of the great perks they offered. Jan Arnett spends most days restoring his beloved Ford Model T. When he would buy tools or parts, he loved that his MasterCard would extend the standard warranty.
One of the things that I look at a credit card for is the ability to extend the warranty.
Whether a wrench or a refrigerator, that extra warranty was a great perk.
In a year, you can save $500, $600.
But he opened his mailbox the other day to find his card is now ending that benefit. If it was only the extended warranties that were disappearing, well, that would be one thing. But it turns out many cards are quietly removing other perks as well. The Washington Post says card issuers are eliminating many benefits this year. They include extended warranties, rental car coverage, travel insurance, lost luggage reimbursement, and price purchase protection, which is also going away on Jan's card.
If you buy it from Lowe's and you find it cheaper at Home Depot, they'll adjust it for you.
Card issuers claim customers rarely use the benefits, especially during the pandemic when most people are not flying, the Post says. But Jan says he's going to miss his perks and would switch cards except for the impact on his credit.
And the problem is it does impact your credit score.
So like this old car, he's just going to deal with changing time. The good news, cards are not removing their fraud protection, only some of the perks that would cost them a lot of money. As always, don't waste your money. I'm John Mattery. Good morning, Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Friday morning. Here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. Indianapolis police investigating an overnight shooting on the city's west side, leaving 2 people dead. Metro Police say just after 1 this morning, a man and a woman were found shot on West Michigan Street near Rochester Avenue. Both victims pronounced dead at the scene. This morning, there's no word on what led up to that gunfire.
Also this morning, police in Fisher say 2 juveniles are now recovering after a shooting there. That shooting happened near the Best Choice Field House at East 116th Street near I-69 just before 10 o'clock Thursday night. They found 2 people shot in the parking lot, and investigators did not give an exact age of those victims. It's unclear how badly they are injured.
Our state's moratorium on evictions, it ends today, and many organizations and agencies are taking steps to try and help Hoosiers. On Thursday, the Indianapolis Housing Agency's Board of Commissioners voted to implement a repayment policy for residents. Nearly 2,000 families live in the agency's 13 properties. IHA says 900 households are behind on their rent. Welcome to Good Morning Indiana. On this Friday, we have a new look for you. We hope that you enjoy it as we're getting ready for the weekend. Lauren and Todd, good morning to you.
Good morning, Raphael. And here in the studio, we miss you. But we are looking at a beautiful shot behind Todd right now. Todd, it's going to be a great Friday morning.
Yeah, you know, it's a typical summer day for us here by August standards. We'll have partly sunny skies. We'll have humidity around and temperatures that are going to be in the mid-80s. And then, heck, we got to throw in the chance of an isolated thunderstorm for you to complete the whole forecast. The view to the north shows a little more in the way of clearer skies, but to the south, you're starting to get impacted by a little bit of rainfall. Been tracking this for you all morning long coming out of Kentucky, where there's been some flash flood warnings. It's weakened a little bit. You notice some lightning strikes here just north of Shoals, light rain in Bedford and Mitchell now, pushing into Seymour. Some heavier rainfall just to the south, and it's part of this cluster of storms that's just been slowly lifting its way out of Kentucky into southern Indiana. It should start to slide off towards the east, so the northerly component of this should maybe make it up to Bloomington and Columbus, and then it will shift off towards the east. But we'll keep some scattered showers in the forecast in southern locations this morning. Mostly cloudy at the noon hour with a temperature of 81, and then there will be the chance of a few isolated storms later on this afternoon as our high tops off, Lauren, at 85 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out there this Friday morning. If you're heading up to work on I-65 near State Road 334, this is in the Whitestown area. You can see traffic is moving along just fine, starting to pick up a little bit as well. We are not monitoring any major issues for your commute, and that is great news for your Friday. Raphael?
So, Lauren, the school year begins for thousands of IPS students and educators on Monday, and students will learn 100% remotely for now. ALYSSA Donovan is live this morning with how families are adjusting to what will be a big change. ALYSSA, good morning to you.
Good morning, Raphael. And the district has invested in some resources that will help families navigate this major change when it comes to education for their children. And they've done that specifically by investing in iPads and Chromebooks so that each student will have their own device dedicated to their schoolwork and connecting with their teachers. Instruction will be delivered daily by teachers, and attendance will also be taken each day to ensure students are logging in for their classes. IPS held a virtual meeting last night where parents could ask further questions and get specifics on the plans for their students. District leaders say they're prepared, but also ask that families are patient and flexible during this time.
I imagine this first 9 weeks is going to be a lot of that, like us trying out things, and when it works, great. When it doesn't, we communicate it back out so that families know what to expect.
And the district is also working to collaborate with community partners to help support families with specific needs by providing a supervised environment for students. And they'll have more on that as they work it out. The plan right now is to start with remote learning this coming Monday, and that's going to go until at least October 2nd. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. The time right now is 6:33, and Indiana is again seeing an increase in COVID-19 cases, with the latest report showing more than 1,000 new cases. The State Department of Health confirming 1,046 new cases yesterday, bringing the total to more than 77,000 since the start of the pandemic. 20 new deaths were also reported yesterday. Nearly 2,900 Hoosiers have died since this pandemic began. This week, the state health commissioner says she's concerned about a possible spike with another holiday coming up in a few weeks.
We have been able to link many of these cases to holiday gatherings, graduation parties, and weddings. My fear is that we will see another spike after Labor Day if people continue to ignore our guidance. If we want to get all of our kids back in the classroom and reopen all of our businesses with workers in the office, we cannot behave as if things are normal.
Free COVID testing is still available across the state to anyone who lives or works in Indiana. There are no other requirements. You can register by going to lhi.care/COVID testing or by calling 888-634-1116. Raphael.
This morning, Lauren, State Representative Terry Gooden is telling us that he's tested positive for COVID-19. The Austin lawmaker said that he tested positive on Monday after being notified of possible contact. He said for several days he had flu-like symptoms that he described as a skull-cracking headache, as well as chills and a fever. Gooden says he is currently isolated at home. He also happens to be the superintendent of the Crothersville Community Schools, but he says he did not have any contact with staff or students. Now let's take you to Madison County. 14 inmates have tested positive for COVID-19 at the county jail in downtown Anderson. Sheriff Scott Mellinger says 2 inmates have definite symptoms. 15 other inmates who may have been exposed are expected to be tested today. The sheriff says he's reaching out to county judges to see if some nonviolent offenders can be released because of that outbreak.
Keeping track of who you interact with is essential to preventing the spread of COVID-19. So just ahead this morning, the unique app showing you the COVID cases around you. The time right now is 6:35. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. We begin now in Howard County. In Kokomo, GM workers, they will continue to make those ventilators even after the contract expires. A GM spokesperson says the manufacturing of the life-saving equipment will continue because the need continues. General Motors and a company called Ventec started the project in mid-March as the demand for ventilators increased across the country. It required many changes at the plant in Kokomo, including transforming the factory and hiring more than 1,000 team members. This morning, Lauren, a new unique contact tracing app for COVID-19 could be coming to cities across the country.
And Raphael, Alexa Liaco shows us how it would work to show you the cases that are around you.
It just hit me like a flash. COVID-19 is a network theory problem.
Easy for him to say. That's Carnegie Mellon mathematics professor Po-Shen Lo. On top of his university classes, Lo teaches math to middle schoolers online.
In math, we actually love to see these kinds of cute coincidences.
He's also the national coach for the U.S. Math Olympiad team. But when the pandemic hit, Lo wanted to take on one more project.
I like things that are supposed to be impossible.
Stopping the spread of the coronavirus seemed to fit the bill.
The only way you can control this disease is in helping people to know whether or not COVID is coming close to them in advance.
So Lo built a unique contact tracing app called Novid.
We turn contact tracing on its head so that you can protect yourselves from others. This is in contrast from most other contact tracing apps that are designed to protect others from you.
The app shows you positive cases in degrees of separation. So a positive case in the first degree would be someone you live with. The second degree would be your coworker or a friend. The third degree would be that person's spouse or child. Each degree of separation, a possible pathway for you to come in contact with COVID-19.
Sort of like a hurricane satellite, shows you a hurricane coming.
In addition to showing you cases as they pop up around you, the app can track the distance between phones down to the inch using Bluetooth technology and ultrasound waves.
We don't know of any other contact tracing app in the entire world which will tell you here's how far away we think the other device was.
And you can actually watch it work.
Okay, it says 6 feet 5 inches, 20 feet 8 inches. It said heard a device but could not measure the distance.
That's exactly right. So when it says that, that means it's too far away.
While the app collects data, you stay completely anonymous.
When you use the app, you never tell it your phone number, you never tell it your email.
Those who are positive can self-report their case in the app, and Lo is working with cities and counties to integrate Novid into health departments.
And if this thing actually caught on, what you'd see is that whenever COVID starts to rise up, you'd see everyone just start to take caution.
So this app does require community buy-in. Why should people download it?
Right now, we only respond when the intensive care units are full, and now it's too late and then people die on the sidewalk. But what we wish would happen is that people could see it coming, and everyone starts to be careful at the right time. With more traction, that's how we can save more lives.
And bring back life as we knew it.
What we're trying to do here is to give everybody headlights to drive in the dark.
I'm Alexa Liaco.
No.
And here at 642, the Rebound Indiana is sharing resources for nonprofit organizations. We know a lot of them are struggling just to serve the community because of the economic impact of COVID-19. United Way of Central Indiana and the City of Indianapolis are still offering a Restart grant to nonprofits, but the deadline to apply is this Saturday. The funding is already helping organizations across our city like St. Mary's Child Center. The center used the money to stock up on cleaning supplies and pay for professional sanitization services.
We received $10,000 of this grant, and I don't know how we would have done it without it. And of course, we want it to be the best environment possible, so we are so very, very grateful.
Now, to apply for this Restart grant, you must be a nonprofit located within Marion County. For more information and a link to apply, you can just visit our website, WRTV.com.
So, Lauren, practice continues for the greatest spectacle in racing. And just ahead, why things did not go as well for one veteran driver, but he is okay. Todd, it is great to hear the roar of engines at the Speedway.
And the weather's cooperated for the first 2 days of practice, and for the most part it should today as well, Raphael. We're dealing with a little bit of rain, though, now sneaking into southern portions of central Indiana, pushing up towards Bedford and into the Seymour area. The big question is, how much further does this rain get to the north? Should start to shift off to the east here shortly throughout the course of the morning hours. We'll dive into this rainfall and look at your weekend forecast coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. IndyCar drivers once again taking to the historic oval at 16th and Georgetown. Let's take you out to the action as it developed on Thursday. 2008 Indy 500 champion Scott Dixon leading the pack with the fastest lap of the day. Another Indy 500 champion, Takuma Sato and Marco Andretti round out the top three. Connor Daly, rookie Alex Palau, and Colton Herta round out the quick six. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso became the first driver to crash. That crash happened when Alonso dipped his left front tire below the white line in turn 4. Now, he did climb out the car. He checked out okay, which is the great news. Here's what he had to say following the incident.
It's always, there is always a step back when you have a crash, and you need to reset a couple of things on the car. But you know, because it was not at 11 in the morning, it was just now. I think we managed to do some good laps today and good information somehow. So let's hope that it's not affecting too much the weekend.
Yesterday's crash is the second crash for the three-time Formula One champion at INMATES. Lauren?
And Raphael, today is a big day for drivers preparing for the 104th running of the Indianapolis 500. It is Fast Friday, the last practice before qualifications. Cars will be out on the track from 11:30 until 5:30, and then drivers will draw for qualification order. Speaking of qualifications, practice starts at 8 o'clock Saturday morning. Quals start at 11, and when it's all over, all but the first 3 rows will be set. The Fast 9 will take to the track at 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon for the Fast 9 shootout. And hopefully, Todd, as they're out at the track getting ready for the 104th running, they'll have dry weather.
You know, it's been good the past 2 days, and I think that nice weather should continue here into the coming days as well. That is the good news as we go forward in this forecast. There's just some small rain chances both today and again during the day tomorrow. The view from downtown to the north right now shows some sunshine in that direction. On the flip side, if we would show this camera to the south and turn 180 degrees, it would show the potential for some showers moving into southern locales. 64 right now in Kokomo with the clearer skies, where the clouds are a little thicker down to the south. Temperatures are running a little bit warmer, and temperatures will start to moderate pretty quickly now as we get close to the noon hour, already up to 81 degrees. It's muggy as you walk out the door this morning as well. So it's just going to be a very typical summer-like day for us all across central Indiana. Heavy rainfall to the south, where there's been some flash flood warnings that have been posted. And the heaviest of this rain is just now starting to make its way into far southern sections of Lawrence County and to the Mitchell area. Heavier downpours or near Bedford. No lightning, and then some lighter rain as you make your way towards the Seymour area. But look at this heavy rainfall just outside of our area down towards Paoli, and then as you work your way into the Fredericksburg area. The heaviest of this rain should start to slide off towards the east and towards the Cincinnati area. And the question is, how much further north will this rain progress? This storm cluster has kind of defied the odds and just stuck together here throughout the morning hours. It's weakened a bit, but still producing some rain. But some indications are it should start to slide off towards the east. But definitely, if you do live in southern locations, you will have the opportunity here, if you're not seeing the rain already, to pick up some showers, and that's up towards the Bloomington area, even into the Columbus area as this little storm cell starts to make its way off towards the east. No threat of any severe weather with this, just some lightning and some heavy rainfall. The further north you are, the drier you are, not only this morning, but throughout the entire day. So if you live to the east and to the south, just know your rain chances are better this morning. And then also as we get into the afternoon hours, that'll be the better chance to pick up some isolated showers and thunderstorms as well before they taper off and push off to the east. So this afternoon is definitely not a washout for us, but there will be some storm chances out there. 85 degrees will be our high temperature this evening. As we go into the overnight hours, temperatures will cool into the upper 60s, mostly cloudy skies. And there's the chance of maybe an isolated shower in the forecast, only about 20% chance overnight. Your Saturday, it's not a bad day at all. There will be some isolated storm chances in the forecast tomorrow as well, mainly in the afternoon hours, but more in the way of sunshine for your Saturday compared to today. So for qualifications at the track, I think we're in great shape tomorrow. Another warm day at IMS and all across central Indiana with temperatures up into the 80s. If you do have plans maybe to be out at one of the lakes here across central Indiana or just out and about, there's that isolated storm chance that's in the forecast. It's not a great one for the day tomorrow. Sunday, the cold front comes through. As that front comes through, there will be the chance of an isolated storm, but then a great stretch of weather for August standards with low humidity, lots of sunshine Monday through Thursday, and high temperatures, Lauren, in the upper 70s to low 80s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this Friday morning, maybe going to work or school. Here's a look at I-465 and East 56th Street. This is the southbound lanes. You can see police there at the scene, and we do have a disabled semi. It's blocking that right lane and shoulder, as you can see. So just take it slow and give them plenty of space as you travel through this area on the northeast side. Again, this is impacting southbound traffic on 465 on the northeast side near the Shadeland exit. Raphael?
Turn up the music. Let the countdown begin. Another good friend of Good Morning Indiana, you know, Beyonce is, but a summer concert now from the queen of country pop, the one and only, that's right, Shania Twain, coming up right here on Good Morning America. I got so overwhelmed, Lauren.
Oh my God, I don't blame you, Raphael. She is fabulous. But first, we are celebrating the end of a work week. How about some good news? This morning, a big surprise. One local firefighter who's battled back from COVID-19. We'll show you why he was on your TV screens. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Well, we finally reached the end of a long work week, meaning that the weekend is just hours away, Raphael.
So let's kick it off with a great dose of good news.
Well, in just a few hours, 54.
In just a few hours,
Raphael, in just a few hours, 54 new firefighters will start serving the city of Indianapolis. The class was sworn in as recruits on February 3rd. The new probationary firefighters will serve the next year working on their life-saving skills. This morning, IFD tells us they're in the second phase of hiring for the next recruit process, set to begin training in February. So he's an essential worker, a first responder, and a COVID survivor. And this week, Brownsburg firefighter was in the national spotlight.
I've got you set up with like a ton of swag, we call this in the industry. I got some for you, for family, for some of the guys at the 133, some of your fellow firefighters who have been so supportive for you guys. I want to say thank you to them.
That's fantastic.
Well, Brownsburg firefighter Kevin Byron was named a healthcare hero on Jimmy Kimmel Live here on WRTV. It was hosted Wednesday night by Rob Lowe. Byron recently battled COVID-19, and he got to chat with Nathan Fillion from The Rookie because he's a big fan. He also got $10,000 along with gifts for the other firefighters at Brownsburg Station 133. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, we are really proud to have him here in Central Indiana, and this may be one of the best good news stories on any Friday. Good Morning Indiana's Kelsey Anderson is getting married. She and her fiancé Max will exchange their vows a little later today. They had to delay their initial wedding date because of the pandemic. We want to send a big congratulations, a whole lot of love to Kelsey and Max as they start their new life together. So that's good news Friday.
Yes.
We wish them all the very best.
And hoping for some good weather, Todd. Very important for, I believe they have an outdoor wedding. So
I think they should be okay later on this evening. Just some spotty storm chances in the forecast today. With the exception of this morning, there's a pretty good band of rain moving through the Bedford and Seymour area that should start to shift off towards the east. Some spotty storms in the forecast for Saturday and Sunday, but a lot of dry hours. The weekend is warm and muggy. Then an absolutely beautiful stretch of weather next week. Lower humidity, cooler temperatures, and lots of sunshine. Lauren?
Todd, thanks for back here in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and traffic. Have a great weekend.